Hi, my name is Olga and I live in Kiev. I was born in Kiev and I was living here all of my life, and I definitely do not have any plans of leaving anywhere from here. I'm a Ukrainian. And I thought that there is something I can tell you, because there are so many journalists here, and well, I guess by now all those people who were asking me, like when I was visiting different countries, they would come up to me and say, "Olga, and where are you from?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm from Ukraine." They were like, I say, "Ukraine, huh? Chernobyl." And they're like, "Oh yeah, right, Chernobyl, oh, Ukraine, okay." So now all those people certainly must know a little bit more about what is Ukraine and where it is, and Kiev and Maidan. So, among all those so many news coming from here, from professional journalists, I bet there are hardly any evidences of ordinary Ukrainian people, civilians, just like me. And it sort of happened that I know English, okay? Well, sort of, I think I know English. It's a tool which can help me to bring a little bit more light, maybe to clear out some things, you know, to explain more about what's going on and how it feels just for ordinary people like me. So, first of all, about me. Right, so I'm 32. I'm a mother of 4. I have a boy, he's 12, a girl, she is 9. And I have 2 twins, they're each 5. I am a journalist, okay? But I'm not that kind of journalist, you know. I write for women's magazines, articles like how to live happily, how to save your family, how to practice yoga, how to be fit, okay? No politics whatsoever. And I have a husband, he's a yoga teacher. So, well, we're just normal people. We have 2 cars, and we live in a house in Kiev, about 20 minutes drive from that place where that whole thing was happening. And when it was really loud there, the explosions were actually, well, they woke me up one day. Yeah, that was pretty scary. But, well, I thought that, yeah, I can sort of, there is something I can tell, right? Maybe you would sort of be interested to learn more about how it feels to be Ukrainian, to live here in this hellish atmosphere. Well, I did say in the beginning I'm not planning to live anywhere, right? Well, that's there. Well, no matter how hellish it is, but I am a patriot. And this is my Ukrainian passport, okay? Actually, I'm showing you my foreign passport. It's red. We also have, you know, to go abroad, we have foreign passports. We also have local passports. It's basically just the same, only it's blue. But, well, that's my foreign passport. Yes, and I'm that girl who hears the national anthem of Ukraine. I cry, I'm serious. It brings me to tears, and all those Ukrainian songs and everything. So the background, okay, the background is that I speak Russian. That's important, because I did hear some terrible stories, nightmarish stories of those terrible Ukrainian Nazi bandits who attack people, who are armed with axes, hammers, clubs, who are walking on the streets with the Nazi symbolics on their forearms, right? And basically they're the bandits who got the power, who drove away the poor president, and well, they sort of they do bad things here. So that's not true. Really, well, maybe they do exist somewhere, and in my motherly day-to-day life, you know, taking the kids out, traveling by metro, walking on the central streets, shopping, I never saw them. But that's important, really, because I'd been living here all this time. When all those things were going on, I was here. There was also another moment. My parents, they live in the very, very center of Kiev. Actually, their windows sort of not exactly coming out, sort of facing Maidan, but really close. So, and I do visit my parents quite often. And my husband works just street away from all that. And I was actually taking my kids to their yoga sessions just don't know that all of that was going on. And I would be taking my kids, we would go there, practice, it's important, they would go to school. So it was not that bad. It was pretty scary, but nothing was menacing in that what was going on. Because basically, and now that's the first statement I would like to make, because the whole thing started not like a civil war, not like a certain group of people with certain nationality wanting to destroy another group of people with another nationality, like some people want to bring this out, well, not people, but when I watch Russian TV channels, I feel like I really feel somebody's crazy here, either me or them, because I look into the TV set and I do see that, all right, this is my city, my streets, but it's like hellish, it's nightmarish what they show. Well, really, I'm not so sure whether you will believe me, but, well, try to believe me. There is the window, and it's quiet. Like, my husband and my son, they return pretty late in the evening, like, I guess it's 10:30 in the evening, they return from their training session in the evening, so they walk from the metro in our neighborhood. It's quiet, okay? But when I turn on the TV set, what they show in Russia about what's going on in Kiev, well, believe me, if I would be living somewhere not here, I would go nuts. It's scary what they show, but it's not, okay, and there's the window, well, you cannot see it because it's dark, but it's quiet there, right? So, right, I wanted to make a statement, but I forgot what I wanted to say. Well, I feel safe, okay? I am a Russian-speaking Ukrainian living in Kiev. It happens so that ethnically I am 25% Ukrainian, 25% Russian, 25% Belarusian, and 25% Uzbek. Well, if it's important, but I'm Ukrainian. It happens so. Also, it happens so that Ukrainian is my third language. Third, because I was brought up in a Russian-speaking family, and at the age of 7 I started learning English, and then also at the age of 7 when I went to school I learned Ukrainian. So Ukrainian is my third language, and that's the statement I want to make. I do not feel any kind of pressure, neither on me nor on my family, when we walk on the streets, speak Russian, when I'm somewhere at the gas station or, well, stores, well, anywhere in the metro, in the buses. It's okay, we feel safe, we have people who speak Ukrainian, we have people who speak Russian, and I feel safe, okay? That's number one. Now, a couple of words about actually what was going on here, just from my peaceful, housewife points of view, okay? So, the whole thing started on November 21. We had that guy, now I will tell you his name, I bet you couldn't read it. Yanukovych, okay? Yanukovych. That was our ex-president. Well, the guy was not super, okay? Like, for me, he was bad. But since he was officially elected president, apparently he was maybe good for someone. It was okay, we were living quietly, it was not so good, well, Ukraine. But believe me, like, Ukraine, it's not quite something like wild Africa. Really, I had people even asking that. I mean, we have electricity, we have internet, we have supermarkets, we have bars, we have skating rinks, we have yoga clubs, we have swimming pools, we have metro, we have pretty much everything. I mean, it's not that bad. It's definitely different from Germany, Belgium, France, England, but we're sort of, well, we're aiming to there, right? It's in our constitution, actually, sort of coming closer to Europe and making some steps to live better. The problem is here with our government is that it's really connected with the mafia, okay? Like, for example, the car, right? Somebody owns the car plant producing poor quality, really bad cars, right? They're bad. Plus, for a big family like us, okay? We have 6 people in our family, we need a big car. And in order to buy that big car, for example, used car, because we're not that rich, somewhere in Germany, Austria, because usually, well, it's, you buy cars there. because they don't produce cars like that here, like Chrysler Voyager. Okay, that's the car we have. So for example, it's about let's say 10k euro. Okay, there. It's an ordinary price, but when you buy it there, to bring it here, to register it, and to use it in this country, you have to pay the same amount more. So 10k plus, attention, another 10k, right? For that's how you call them, the taxes, okay? We pay them in taxes. And why it is done like this? Well, it is done to support the local manufacturer of the cars, bad cars, by the way, for people not to buy the cars from abroad. Well, sort of it's all complicated. I don't know what to talk about this, but actually that's how the government affected specifically our family. So we had to pay a huge amount of tax for that car so that we could travel with the kids somewhere, like all of the kids, 4 kids and us and the grandmother. However, people in Europe pay half less for such car, and well, the taxes go, like all the medicine here. You go to the hospital, you have to buy everything, like all these the syringes, right, to make the injections and those drips, like everything you have to buy. The hospitals, do you know how much the doctor gets? It's funny. Well, it's not so funny, but the nurse, she gets the salary of 120 euros per month. And the liter of petrol, let's say it's about 10 euro. And the prices in the supermarkets, they're practically the same, if not more, if not bigger than the prices in the supermarkets, let's say in Slovakia or, well, any other European country. The food is expensive here, as well as the gas, right, for the cars. But can you live for 120 euros per month being a nurse in a hospital? Well, they live somehow. So that's sort of the background, right? We understand difficult economical situation. The government are doing their best to regulate the situation and to make people live better, right? So we wanted to and November 21st, our president, he suddenly decided not to sign that agreement with the association with Europe, which definitely would bring more chances, which would make the corruption less. Well, I don't want to talk about that, but basically he changed the course which was in the constitution. It was there, and he just changed it. And he said no more Europe. And kind of people got sort of unhappy, so they went out to Maidan on the streets just to say, here we are, we're the people. You're the president, look at us. We don't agree with what you do. We're not happy with that. But, well, of course, he ignored them. And it was Sunday, November 24th, when about 100,000 people went out to that Maidan. Just they went there. There were people with kids, elderly people, no kind of radicals or fascists. They just went out just to show, like, come on, we don't appreciate. They were not aggressive or anything like that. They did not want Mr. Yanukovych to leave anywhere. They just wanted for him to change the course back to what it should be. And of course, he didn't do anything. Basically, all this time he was doing something to make the situation even worse. So, what happened? People stayed there. They brought their tents, and they said, like, come on, we're going to stay here. We'll stay here. So they stayed day and night, striking. And on November 30th, at 4 o'clock in the morning, they were beaten, badly beaten. About 70 people went to hospitals. Nobody died, thanks heaven, on that day. But people did suffer, and they were like kids, there were students, and those armed men with shields, with all those clubs, they were sort of beating them. That was terrible. After that, people did not only not go away, but many more people came to Maidan, and now they didn't really care much about just association with Europe. They wanted Mr. Yanukovych to go. Right. So that was lasting on and on. And then on January 16th, the government decided to take a very interesting law, which basically made a group of people who were standing just on the street, dressed in those helmets, like when you're building, right? Construction. I cannot remember the word for that. You see, my English is quite poor, in fact. So you made them outlaws. Like, for example, if you travel in a group of cars more than 5, you're violating the law. Okay. So if it's a traffic jam or a wedding, so you're violating the law. So he basically wanted to make all those people who were in Maidan outlaws. Now that's also something which I want to say, and actually I should have said that in the beginning. I do believe that among any people there definitely would be fascists and radicals and bandits and sadists, no matter which ideas sort of they're trying to bring out forward. They would be there in any society. So I'm sure that among those people protesting peacefully on Maidan, there would be some certain even criminal elements. However, I did not see them, I did not suffer from them, and so once again my sort of personal political ideas are such: I want peace. Really, me personally, if I would choose whether to die or to live with Mr. Yanukovych, I would definitely choose to live. Okay? However, I do understand that there would be some people who would rather choose to die rather than to live with him. It's their right. Like, sort of, I wouldn't care much. But there are people who would care. Their aggression was turned to Yanukovych, right? The government. Not ordinary people like us. So that's just, I'm explaining what's happening. So by making those laws, instead of sort of talking to people and asking, okay, come on, what do you want? What I can do for you? He did something absurdly different. He made them outlaws, and of course people didn't listen to him and they kind of went angry. So that thing was all going on, and in the end, it all ended up with 100 people being attacked and killed. I cannot say that they were killed, well, like they were standing peacefully and just standing on the street. Well, of course not. There was some tension there, I have to admit that. However, I even heard that they did have some weapons, but how can you compare the clubs and those shields? They were ordinary people. They were no kind of fascist or radicals. Once again, they were just there. They were unhappy, okay? And I cannot say it was actually the police who attacked them, right? But one of the guys who was killed there, he was actually yeah, so I feel hard talking about that. He was not in any kind of politics or whatever. He was just helping his friends there, bringing tea and stuff like that. And he would go to Maidan only 2 hours a day after work, so he would be there at 6 and he would leave at 8. And he was killed, like the bullet, it was this sniper, right? And many people like that. Over 80 people were killed in 2 days. So after that, what did the president do? He disappeared. Mr. Yanukovych ran away. And when Russia says that actually, the group of bandits and fascists drove away the president, it's wrong. They lie. Come on. We didn't know what's going on. He did not talk to, he did not say anything, he just disappeared, he fled, okay? He ran away. So, when finally, yes, and there was no much panic going on, because we were living here, yes, there was one day when there were rumors going on, of kind of nasty rumors that there will be no gas at the gas station, so make sure you fuel your cars, there would be no money in the banks, and there were lines in the stores, people buying sugar, cereal, cans, well, we had to be prepared, but it lasted just for half a day. In the evening it was all quiet, it was okay. And it was quiet, there was no police, and actually what the government, ex-government did, they brought those people, they're called titushki, okay? They would there were those elements, you know, close to criminal. They would pay the money and say, okay, come on, do something, just to destabilize the situation, just make it scary. But our people, I say our people, like ordinary citizens, Kievans, they learned about that pretty quickly. So they organized groups of people who would be patrolling the streets, making sure that there would be no hooligans or bandits breaking into the cars and, you know, doing things like that. Later on, those people, there was no police. The police was really taken out. It was a very quiet night, in fact. Really quiet. Because the people, it was amazing what they did, right? They were really patrolling the streets and they were making sure that it's okay. And I felt safe, right? So, after some time, several days passed and the yoga studios resumed their work. School was working, the kindergartens, the metro, cinema, it was alright. I mean, everything was fine. And then suddenly one day, it was the day before yesterday, we learned that Russia declared war. That was shocking, okay? It was just, I have no words to describe this state of utter misunderstanding, maybe. Like, how come on, which Russia? What kind of war? Why? They said that the situation in Ukraine is so bad that it's necessary to bring in troops. And for some reason, they brought in troops into the Crimea. All right, well, also there are rumors in the Crimea that they are expecting those terrible Ukrainian nationalists, bandits, armed with axes, heading to Crimea and to kill them because they're Russian speaking. Well, it's like, sorry, it's like bollocks. I haven't heard of that. I haven't seen them. Where are those Nazis? I haven't seen them. I've been in Lviv and places like Ternopil, right? And, well, the western part of the Ukraine with radical fascists. I have friends living there. Well, maybe I'm a fascist myself in that case. I don't know. I haven't seen them, okay? However, I do see the news that the Russian troops are in the Crimea. They're blocking those military camps, military parts of where Ukrainian militaries are there. They're surrounded and they say, come on, get out, or it will be bad. And actually a Ukrainian ship is also blocked. They decided not to surrender, right? And they're given some certain amount of time till, I guess, tomorrow morning or something like that. And then, well, things may get really bad. So, this is my story, right? And I'm sure there are so many things which I don't know. However, on the other hand, there are so many things which I do know. And I've been on Maidan. I spoke Russian there. I feel safe. I was safe when I was there. Maybe I'm blind, but I haven't seen a single terrible Ukrainian nationalist attacking anybody. I did see those terrible videos. Apparently something was there, right? There were bad days, but so far it's quiet, and everything is working so far. The news are shocking, but I look out of the window and it's quiet there. So, well, this is it basically. If you have any questions, you're free to ask me on my blog. Just Google for Ada Samarka, livejournal.com, or Olga Yatsenka in the Facebook. So, this is it.